Hey, welcome back to another Black City Coffee vlog. In this video, I'm going to go over becoming a decaf drinker. So I'm just about to make a little great cup of coffee that I've been drinking for the last a little over a month now of decaf Honduras, organic Honduras that I roasted myself here at Black City Coffee. I even made a label for myself just so it looks nice here in the pantry. So back to the subject of this video. So I'm gonna make my coffee this morning. I'm a little bit of a late start. It's only 7. I usually get up at around 4 or 5, which I did, but I actually went back to sleep to get some more rest since I am currently on a little bit of a vacation right now. There's a couple things that I wanted to go over in terms of becoming a decaf drinker, in my mid 30s now, and being a caffeinated drinker for a majority of that. We're gonna brew a little coffee here, and then we're gonna have a little convo about what's to know about becoming a decaf drinker, and we're gonna address kind of the fear that surrounds it, the stigma, what my personal experience was in terms of how caffeine affects my body in particular, and what it actually does to your body when you do drink caffeine. I want to also preface this say I was never particularly against it leading up to this change, because I was kind of maybe thinking maybe I'm gonna have to do that because I think there's some things going on in my body that are not agreeing with caffeine, and even though I tried to deny it or try to find ways around it, I don't think I'll be able to escape it. And that was a little truth that I was saying to myself probably about earlier in the year, just because I was dealing with a lot of health stuff. So hopefully by the end of this video, and having a really nice cup of coffee here together on this video, maybe if you're experiencing maybe the things that I was going through, maybe you might want to try it. And I hope this video helps you make a better, or come to a closer decision. Got the fire going. Oh yeah. Why decaf? Why was, for me, if you've been following the channel, it was just health reasons. For some reason, I was dealing with that's a lie, not all of a sudden. I had been dealing with a lot of GI tract issues for a long time, and I was convinced coffee was not a part of that equation, because I thought, I'm fine. Like we all say when we're in denial about our addictions or our habits, bad habits. And there's nothing wrong with drinking coffee. I think for me, it came to a point where drinking coffee, even though I was really only drinking 1 a day, and then maybe at max maybe 2 a day, it was still at this point in time just too much, the last straw. And I was faced with a lot of anxiety, a lot of physical pain accompanied with it, and I've been dealing with this, trying to find the solution, and always maneuvering around coffee like it's not coffee. It's not coffee, just keep moving it aside. Finally, when I was kind of at my wit's end and going through during quarantine, which was great because I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have any obligation, so I could be in pain. I could go through the trauma of all these issues that I was having and not feel bad about it, not feel guilty about it. And I think it gave me time to really look at okay, is it not coffee? Is it caffeine? Because then if that's the case, I could still have the flavor and the beauty of coffee in my life. It's not like I have to say no to it. It just has to be decaf. And while I've heard that some decaf do have caffeine in it, I need to find the one that is literally no caffeine, and then run a test. just run a test. Just don't drink it. And I knew that was going to be really hard for me, not only because of my emotional addiction to coffee, the way that it gets me to start my day, but also the physical. I knew that there were going to be some sort of physical repercussions, like the withdrawal symptoms and stuff. So I was scared of that. You know, I didn't really want to go through that because I was thinking, dude, I go through a lot of chronic pain in my life. I don't want to add that. Like, I find that coffee is my saving grace. You know, being all dramatic about it. In reality, it was making me sicker. You know, it was making me more ill. It was so cool that once I had decided not to have it anymore, you know, the pain went away. So it was pretty easy after that. Not pretty easy, but I mean, you know, you're like, okay, you see the writing on the wall. Oh, yeah. Now I just got to put this guy on here. Like that. And we'll be pretty much ready to cook. So, health reasons, you know. And once I stopped kind of thinking about decaf as like a death, which is, there's that whole, you know, stigma, which we'll get into that next, is like death before decaf kind of mentality. I didn't really struggle with that too much. It was just like, it was more like I'm not going to be able to experience all of the different kind of flavors that coffee has to offer, because so much of coffee that is processed for regular consumption is caffeinated, right? So I was kind of sad about maybe not being able to experience anymore all those different types of coffees. But then I suddenly was, you know, wrong with that assumption, because I have to cup my coffees when I roast to check, you know, and I don't have to swallow what I cup. So I can, I think you may be ingesting a little bit of caffeine when you do cuppings, but I'll be sure to do cuppings when I'm not going to go anywhere, when I'm, you know, not going to be inundated with any anxiety issues. So I think I'll be fine, you know. I'll just spit into my spittoon, my little spittoony cup thing, when I cup to taste, and I can still try everything that coffee has to offer. I just don't have to consume a full cup of it, and just cup. And I was doing that all throughout the Coffee Net samples, cupping, spitting, and it doesn't kill my fire as a roaster. It doesn't kill my fire as a coffee consumer. I still get to try stuff, which is great, right? Save myself all of the negative side effects that I personally experience nowadays in my age now, I guess. I don't know, or maybe it's always been there, that caffeine wasn't good for me. I'm not hindered or limited in any way now that I don't drink caffeinated coffee. And my new focus as a roaster, as a lover of coffee, would be to find great tasting decaf, and then making sure that I roast it correctly as well. And Bodhi Leaf Coffee here in Orange, they supply all my green currently. They have a lot of great decaf choices, and I was looking through most of them, and most of them, we're doing a little bacon. We're doing cast iron cooking, you know what I mean? So it's bacon, it's potatoes, it's fully American up in here. Oh, and it's peppered bacon. What a surprise. I love peppered bacon. Yeah, Bodhi Leaf supplies all my stuff, and I was looking through all of them, and they sell most beans that are recommended to roast to a level of medium to dark roast. So full city plus and above. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but you know, originally I really loved light roasted coffee, so that's what I was looking for, and I did find one that they did recommend. And it's not like you can't roast something a certain way just because you know, somebody says so. I would definitely try it. Like the Honduras I have is recommended to a full city plus, like that. I'll definitely try roasting it light and just kind of like see what happens. But the thing with roasting decaf is that you have to go so gently. But what does that even mean, right? So we'll quantify that with real numbers with my machine in another video. But I found one, a Colombian decaf, that can be roasted to a City Plus. So we'll check that out probably when I run out of this Honduras and see what that's about and see what's the difference, because I really love a light roasted cup, because I don't put any cream, I don't put any sugar or anything like that. So I don't need anything to hold up against to anything. I really just want the taste of coffee. That's looking good. Check that out. There you go. Check that out. So next, the stigma of decaf. Yeah, it's very real. You know, I kind of went through it, and then I had to find new ways of justifying to myself again. And I think this is kind of what we all do as humans, is we like to find a tribe, and then once we find a tribe, we like to die for that tribe, which sometimes it leads to what you see now in politics, what you see now in cancel culture and all kinds of stupid shit like that. So I don't want to really be a part of that, and I don't like to get caught up in that. So, and a lot of me going through life now as a coffee roaster has humbled me in so many ways and made me kind of eat my words in a lot of ways. And I'm happy to say that I ate my words, because that means I'm killing my ego and hopefully helping others to kill theirs and find the beauty in decaf, or the beauty in not just roasting for yourself, you know. I gotta put 2 more on here, because when my husband gets home, he'll be really, really hungry. Oh my God, it smells so good. It smells like fat and fire. And that's a winning combo right there. So the reason why I'm camping in my backyard, essentially, is because we were supposed to go camping. And we went all the way to Joshua Tree, only to be turned back right at the gate. Campsite is full. And I was like, damn it, let's go back. But it's all good. I love being at home. Yeah, so the stigma of decaf, I think it's stupid. And I'm happy to say that I once thought like that. I just did, you know, because kind of like everybody does, they jump on the bandwagon of, oh yeah, death before decaf, you know. Yeah, I never drink decaf. And they don't even know, you might not even know jack shit about decaf. And that's common too. That's dumb. It's not any judge on your character. I think the act of judging something before you even know anything about it, because the bandwagon says it's dumb, or the bandwagon says it's bad, is dumb. That's all. And you can honestly change that right away and just be like, oh, I'm not gonna think like that anymore, and not let the opinions of others have any effect on you. Ooh, look at all the bacon. So we render out all that fat, and then we're going to cook our potatoes in that fat. And it's going to be glorious. I love cooking outdoors because the fire is so mesmerizing. If you, for health reasons, need to be drinking decaf, then do it. And don't feel bad about it. I felt bad for like 2 seconds, and I was like, this is stupid. Felt bad as in like, who am I? I drink decaf. Like, that stupid thing. The whole identity thing that kind of happens. You get too attached to a certain identity. I would say start looking at your identity as like just a different pair of clothes. I heard this on a podcast one time. It's just a different pair of clothes that I put on, you know? I don't need to be married to everything. Even though sometimes that's helpful, to be married to how you perceive the world and all that stuff. All right, let's talk about the withdrawal symptoms. Yeah. They're real. That was tough. Headaches for me, massive headaches. I've always gotten headaches, so I'm prone to having headaches anyway. So without the caffeine, definitely headaches, and very, very irritable. I'm already an irritable person, but maybe I always was irritable because I was drinking coffee for the majority of my life. No, but I think I am an irritable person. But I find that it was a lot. When I was going through the withdrawal symptoms, it was a lot. But also, on the plus side, my anxiety went down. I had this very latent
subconscious anxiety. It's not really so much showing on the surface, but it will show in the biometrics of me, like a fast heartbeat, an uneasiness. I got a lot of urgency. So like being in the car or being in line or anywhere where I had to wait, I had this incredible anxiousness. And it was painful to live like that for a long time, and I just thought that was me. I didn't think that was related to caffeine. And I think now that I've been off caffeine for probably a good, because I was mixing caffeine with my decaf a little bit here and there, just running little tests for myself. I'd say a good week and a half now. Absolutely none. Absolutely no caffeine. No tea even. No tea. No green tea or anything like that. Because even that get me riled up and make me feel anxious too. So now I know, not even tea. Which is cool. That's fine. I don't really like tea that much. Not as much as coffee. So, yeah, definitely. Oh, my fire went out. I was talking. I didn't even realize. So first thing, it was just kind of like killing coffee just meant, not going about your day like you normally do, your routine. So that was kind of an upset. And I like to wake up very early, around maybe 5 or 6, right? Funny thing happened after about a week of not drinking any caffeine. I started to wake up earlier, like 4:45, 3:45, like that, but like up. And I'd gone to sleep at around maybe 10, something like that, 10 or 11. So I was like, this is weird, but I'm up and I can't go back to sleep. And I just started to work. I just started work on Black City coffee stuff, other work, KLV stuff, and, my other job, whatever. And I wasn't drinking anything. I was just up. And it was so weird. And I was kind of afraid that when I was giving up caffeine to go and drink decaf, even try it, because the pain was so, so bad. So I was like, dude, if I just have even one more spurt of it, I don't even want to try right now. I was a little bit afraid. And so I just kept waking up, and I found that was really cool. That motivated me, that I was getting up so early and then having so much energy. So I was like, hey, cool. And you need a win like that when you're going through, taking away your addiction. You need kind of like a win like that so that you can keep going and keep fighting your addiction. I definitely was craving coffee and just knew that the moment I would drink it, I would feel that pain again instantly. And I was thinking, well, if I just heal, then I can have coffee again. And that really just wasn't the case. It wasn't even about the pain anymore. It was about the source. So the pain was like, hey, pay attention, stop doing this stuff. But there was this underlying current, I think, that was running out through most of my life about this anxiety that I had in my life, all the way back to when I was maybe in maybe high school. That's, I think, when it started. Or even earlier than that, middle school, maybe like 6th grade, 7th grade. And coffee did compound that. But I loved the taste of coffee so much. And I never thought it was the caffeine, And this has not been formally diagnosed, and I don't need a formal diagnosis to tell me that caffeine gives me problems. I just did a test. Here, I didn't do it. Here, I did do it. Nothing else changed, except that I'm maybe a little bit older, but I don't find that to be too much of a trigger for me, just getting older. I think it's straight up the caffeine. All right. Now we're cooking. Now we get the potatoes going. And we got a little chive. And garlic. 2 in there. And a little bit of lemon. I think that's good. I didn't feel mentally sharp anymore, though. Not drinking, coffee in the morning. That was kind of an issue. So if I was trying to do something high level, like answer an email that was having to do with our other business, and it was serious business, answering an email, especially during these times. I just was not, I wasn't mentally there. I wasn't sharp like I typically am. And those withdrawal symptoms lasted just about a week or so, not too long. And I was surprised that it wasn't terribly long. I was like, that's great, that's good. But I was popping a little ibuprofen for the headaches, for sure. But yeah, the number one thing was just like the GI issues went away, and that subconscious anxiety went away. And I noticed right away when I was in the car, when I would normally feel it. Still warm. It's great. And while I was going through this all, I was thinking, what does it mean to be addicted to something? And do I like that about myself? And I didn't. So for myself, I love the fact, I didn't like the fact that I was addicted to something. And there's plenty of things to be addicted to. I feel like I'm addicted to my video games, my phone, addicted to my phone. And that's it. And I thought those are my vices, but I do not want to be addicted to a type of food or a beverage. And I'm glad I'm getting the opportunity right now to change that. I think I still can say I'm addicted to coffee. Like, I really want to have coffee every day. And if it's decaf, like, so be it. But now I know it's not really coming from an addiction to caffeine. It's coming to the addiction to the love of coffee, which I don't find a bad thing, It's an addiction to this thing that I get to experience every single day that I had a hand in making. That's amazing. And it's a way for me to serve me, to think of me when I drink that, which is cool. I think, coffee gives you, if you're a roaster, it gives you a chance to celebrate yourself, which I don't think we do in a humble way. I don't think we do maybe enough. Still going here? Here's the good things that came with it. After that 1 week and a half or so of like just trying to figure out what to do with myself, I started to wake up around 3 or 4:45, right? And I was just up. I was just like, boom, I have a lot of energy. And where is this energy coming from? It's not coming from the caffeine, that spike that I get anymore. So where's it coming from? My diet really hasn't changed. I was like, oh, this is me. Like, I am a morning person when I don't have to do dumb shit. When I get to do my stuff, I'm a morning person. I love to, and that doesn't necessarily mean like just stuff for me. It's like I like to clean my house. I like to make sure the kitchen is in order. I like to take care of my dog. I like to work out. I like to listen to a bunch of hilarious or introspective or educational YouTube videos and podcasts. So, or design stuff, or write stuff, or create content, like things like that. And I just had this incredible rush of energy again. And I was like, whoa, this is cool. So I was like, yes, definitely when I stopped drinking caffeine and my body was no longer reliant on it anymore, it had its own energy. It was waiting to go for a string. Like, hey, I'm ready. I have a lot of energy here. And my mental sharpness is still not the best in the morning, not drinking any caffeine to stimulate that, but I get right back there at around maybe 7 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock, then I'm sharp. But because I wake up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, I'm a little groggy and I just like to kind of roll out, but I'm there, I'm present, roll out. I don't really roll out, I actually spring out of bed. I spring out of bed and I'm like, I go make my decaf, I go do my thing, and like, I feel good. Another thing too, like, I don't have to take naps anymore. I used to take a nap every day. Every day around 2 or 3, I'd sit in my massage chair like an old person wait till I fall asleep, take a nap for an hour or two, and then come back to the rest of my life. That's how I was, you know. And now I don't do that anymore. I go to my massage chair if I need it, and then I just carry on with the rest of my day. I'm productive, you know. Not that a nap isn't bad for you. Like, if you need a nap, like, take a nap. But I find that I don't need them, which is great. And I don't feel a need for drinking coffee, too, in the middle of the day. If I have one, that's cool. If I have something sweet in the day, because I love drinking coffee with something sweet, like then I'll have it. But I typically don't even have that extra cup of decaf anymore. And I drink it really slowly. I sleep earlier, though, maybe like 8 or 9. And if I find myself sleeping at 10, like, I'll just wake up a little bit later, that's all. But I find that if I get 5 or 6 hours sleep, I'm springing out of bed. Springing, you know. I don't roll out of bed. So that's been my experience, you know, becoming a legit decaf drinker. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, now I just need to find interesting processed decafs. I need to find what's up with that, and then learn how to roast them, and then, you know, share that with you guys. That'd be cool. And for those people who love the taste of coffee, but maybe they also had the issue dealing with caffeine, coming to terms with that, coming to grips with that, I think that was maybe the hardest part of saying, oh, the caffeine's the problem. Not particularly the coffee. I could still enjoy coffee. This looks great, by the way. Look at that. Can you see that? So it's been a journey, and a relatively short one in terms of switching, but I'm okay and happy to say that I don't need caffeine anymore, you know, and I'm going to be a different coffee drinker, for me, you know what I mean? For me. Like, for me, I'm going to be healthier, I'm going to be happier, I'm going to have more energy, I'm not going to have that anxiety anymore. And I've been dealing with that, guys, for a long time, and I didn't know. Like life, you're like, oh, I didn't know. I was like keeping myself back. Dang. You're like, duh. And only you can tell yourself that, which is, it always kind of makes me shake my head at myself, you know, shaking my head, that kind of thing. But it's cool to, I'm so grateful, I'm so happy to make this video, because it means I finally overcome it. That's a long time. I'm 34, you know what I mean? Like, I'm 34, and for most of my life, dealing with that anxiety, that pain, and mostly not telling anybody about it. That's kind of a big deal. So to figure out that, you know, caffeine was a big part of the culprit. One was emotional health, mental health, stress level, of course. I'm not discounting any of those compounding factors, but when I did my tests, you know, my little own experimental tests on myself, and said, I'm drinking it. I'm even drinking it in green tea, high quality matcha green tea. Still getting this anxiety, this pain in my gut, pain in my body. There you go. You know what I mean? There you go. So, I hope this helps you make an informed decision and live your best life and all that good stuff, because that's what you need to do. You just got to live your best life. And sometimes it means closing a door on something that you think is irreplaceable. But really, it's more, if that's the case, sometimes when you close that door, maybe it's making room for more, you know? And this is cliche, and it's common, it's said a lot, but maybe you can still, doesn't mean it's not valid, you know? Maybe you can still listen to that message. Okay, so we're going to run out of battery pretty soon. So thanks for joining me here. Another Black City Coffee blog, a little different today, but you know, I'm feeling it. So good things. I'll see you next time. Bye.